Got some 1970s funk right
That's
now.
why he wanted me to add all that. Ooh, yeah, baby. Yo, welcome to the Chop Up. We have a very special guest in the building. Sitting across from me is Kanyes.
Thank y'all for having me. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, buddy.
Let's kind of do what we never do, which is plug our social media. We always forget to do that.
Always.
So follow me on Instagram. The Ignorance is Free with a Z, and on Twitter, I'm Chris Green.
Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Mike Devine Music with a K.
You can follow me at my Instagram. That's Kenny CEE999. That's about it. I don't really have anything else.
Sometimes less is more.
Absolutely.
Right?
We're gonna kind of get right into it. I mean, I guess there's no other way to start it but to start it. I mean, unless you
silence, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, unless you've been living under a rock, I'm pretty sure everybody's aware of the Kanye West controversy, and a lot of people have their own points of view on it, and some people are on the side that like he's lost, some people are on the side that he's like just extremely progressive,
right?
Trying to push like free thought and get people out of the box. So if you follow me on my social media, you already know my stance, like how I feel about it, which we'll get into that in a bit. Kenny here, I met up with Kenny. When was it? Like 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Like 2 weeks ago, we just linked, right?
Birthday party, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, at Fame. Shout out Fame 1.
Yes, Fame 1.
Fame.
And so I post my little 1-2 on Instagram on my live story, and Kenny posts something on his live. So then I text him a picture of Kanye in the Sunken place, and he responds in a way that I didn't expect, which we'll get to in a moment, because he's kind of the star of the show tonight. But what are you, without being extremely long-winded, Devine,
No, I'm gonna keep this short.
what is your thoughts about Mr. West?
Hey, Mr. West, Mr. West. I think I think Kanye West is definitely living in the future, and I think some people when they're born, they're just born ultimately intelligent to the point where they really don't understand what the hell they're even talking about.
Okay.
Like, I think. Have you ever had a conversation with somebody and you almost forget what they're talking about?
Yeah.
I literally think that Kanye will have a conversation and start forgetting what his topic was. So I don't even really think that Kanye even realizes what's coming out of his mouth when he's saying it.
Okay.
I think a lot of his ideas make sense. Like even the interview that he had with Charlemagne the God.
Yeah.
A lot of the content made sense, but it's so futuristic and outlandish that you don't want to believe what he's saying. It's almost because he's so convincing in his tone that you want to say, you know what, maybe this dude has a valid point, but whoa, wait. It's Kanye West.
So, okay,
know?
so again, that was kind of like a roundabout way of answering the question. You are Kanye West right now.
Right.
What the fuck are you saying? Do you agree with what he's trying to pander, or are you against it? You know that in our community, it's more or less this or this. What side are you on? Are you for or against?
No, I'm not for what he is saying, especially with the slavery was a choice. To me, that makes no.
We'll get there.
sense.
We'll get there. You know? I still don't know what you're saying. Are you for or against?
No,
there's no fence.
No, I'm against.
Okay,
I'm definitely against.
All right, cool. I don't mean to mediate here, but I just want to, because we didn't know.
Oh, okay.
I know where he stands.
Yeah.
He knows where I stand. We didn't know.
Okay. No, I'm
purposely.
against.
Yeah,
No,
purposely
I'm
we
against.
waited till you got here.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm also against, in case you guys don't follow me on Instagram, which if you don't, I hate you. But Kenny, let's get you in the microphone.
I am for what he's saying, but there's a caveat here. Okay. I don't think a lot of people have actually verbatim quoted what he actually said. Like you just said, we were, slaves for 400 years. That's a choice. Mm-hmm. When actually he said it sounded like a choice. And if we put it into context in his crazy world that he's trying to paint for us, he was more looking at the black plight that our ancestors went through, and the mentality that they shared with each other, and the very fact that they stayed slaves so long mentally, even up into this day,
even to this present day.
And
yes.
he just did not. He just didn't say it in the correct way, right?
Thank you.
And
thank you.
And I think that this goes to a deeper rooted problem with Kanye, is that he is such a force that I don't think that he can have a filter that won't offend anyone. He just says, and I believe that for the past year that he's been gone.
Let me get you on more on the mic.
He's my bad.
It's all good.
He's probably been on he's probably been on some next stuff, right? He's probably been speaking to people who have opened up his eyes a bit on topics that maybe he wasn't aware of. And when he was speaking with Charlemagne, he was saying that he now wants to speak freely, as if he wasn't speaking freely before.
Hasn't he been speaking freely since the beginning of his career?
The narrative is that celebrities, especially black black pop stars, movie stars, it just seems like leaning left is the safest thing to do.
Why would you think that?
Because criticizing, which is what I was talking about, criticizing black people and making them accountable as individuals puts a target on your back. And I used to get in many fights with teens growing up, just self-reflecting. And
Let's talk about that, because I'm pretty sure there's some people watching this right now that are looking at this guy and they're like, "Yo, okay, we need to find maybe we will find Kanye first, get him out the Sunken place, then we'll come back for Kenny." But let's provide a little bit more context. So, I want to just ask him a quick question. Before we turn the lights and the cameras on, you were telling me, you'll be at a party and you'll be having a conversation and the record. So just to provide, so you can understand, like maybe like why your thought process is the way it is.
Okay, so I was telling him about how I would be in like a group setting or a party with other black guys, and we all start having like political discussions, right? And everyone's having a good time because the narrative is, the black plight, people look at us different, cops are out to get us, we don't get jobs, etc. Like the cadence of the room was like, yeah, for real, and then there's little old me like, oh well, have you tried to dress a little better, speak a little better,
okay,
and then the music stops, like what did he just say, brother, like, don't you know that we were slaves? And I'm like, okay, I mean, we aren't slaves, our ancestors were, we also may be subjected to some of the aftermath, right? But that doesn't define us, because when I was speaking to him before, we were talking about how he has such a great drive. Like
Kanye?
No.
Oh, who has a great
Chris?
Oh, him. Yes.
Amazing drive. I asked him, where did you learn how to do all this stuff? Put it together. He said, just trial and error.
Right.
And my little quirky remark was, oh, but like, are you sure? Because you are black, right? Like, this shouldn't have happened because something would have been holding you back.
Right.
But clearly it didn't hold him back.
Okay.
He wanted something. He sees himself as an individual who just so happens to be black.
Right.
And instead of collectively being a victim, he decides to do something
and to overcome
and change his life,
his obstacles.
And that's usually the story for any famous black person.
Yeah, but I mean, just you can't just use me as the example to say, look, man, hey, Chris did it.
Well, you're a normal guy,
but at the same time, what he's saying is, and I think I'm understanding what you're saying.
I understand what he's saying.
Like,
it's just,
I don't think you're sitting here trying to legitimize and and say, Kanye, you know what, I support every single thing you say. Like, you make complete sense. But going back to the whole slavery matter, even if anybody watching this has ever taken American history, when you look back on the history of just black people in America or across the world, when we were stolen from the motherland and scattered all over the U.S. and the Caribbean, to say that was something that sounded like a choice I find that the words and the choice of words just dagger like knives. Like it's taking a whole race of people and saying, hey,
Kanye West,
you could have rebelled against all of these white people who had arsenals of weapons that would just kill massive people. We didn't have the weapons. They had the weapons.
I don't even think he meant it like that. I think he more meant it like, have you ever seen a big dude who just literally lets people walk on him? And then you question, you go, hey,
why did you do that?
You know you're bigger than everyone.
Yeah, bro, yo, listen, man. Kanye West is acting like there was never a Nat Turner. Kanye West is acting like slaves didn't revolt. That happened. And and Kanye West, when he made that statement, it was like, you mean all of you? You mean we were all here and that still happened? Bro, back when slavery was happening, there was less black people in America than there is now. And it's still happening. So like, what is he talking? Like, what could we have actually done? Like, what is he talking about? Is he making it sound like the numbers were on our side? Like there was all of you there and it still happened?
Again.
Yeah.
I've watched that clip a dozen times. Okay. And it looked like he had more to say, but what's that dude's name?
Van?
He stood up, right?
Yeah.
Interjected really quick.
Very quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So whatever Kanye said afterwards, people said that he was trying to double down or play safety with his Twitter. I think that was just
Can I say that? Yeah, so he went on Twitter. He goes, the reason why I brought up the 400 years point is because we can't be mentally imprisoned for another 400 years. We need free thought now. Even the statement was an example of free thought. It was just an idea. Now, when I seen that tweet, and you guys can have at it if you want, again, I thought that was a double down. And also, I thought it was really excuse me. Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Mama.
I thought it was really stupid. And the reason why I say that is because he's like, it was just free thought, just an idea. Okay. I just want to talk about that for a second. Did Hitler just wake up one morning and say, let's kill all the Jewish people?
No.
Hitler thought about that.
Of course.
It was
that was an idea.
That was, yeah.
Okay. So there's free speech, right? Like, you could say whatever you want, but there's also hate speech.
I think
hate speech is a crime, bro.
I know hate speech is a crime.
So what I'm trying to say is,
who defines hate speech?
The people who are offended. If you're listening to it and you're offended by it.
So if anybody can get offended by anything, then anything can be labeled hate speech. Now that's a very, very terrible. That's a very tricky territory to try to navigate. Okay, because that means that that there is no free speech if I can be offended by something and then call it hate speech. I can invalidate what you say by saying that it offends me, so it holds no merit. And then I can put you in jail for it.
I didn't say anything about going to jail.
Well, if hate speech is a crime, then obviously it must carry some type of penalty, right?
Right. So again, I'm talking about hate speech.
Yeah.
So I'm just using that as a parallel to free thought. And also with his thing about free thought, if Hitler woke up one morning and started thinking about it like, hey, you know what? I think the world will be a much better place without Jewish people. Let's go ahead and let's get rid of all of them. So that turned into an idea. So he thought about it first. So Kanye West saying this thing, like it's extremely offensive and it's also dangerous. And also to Van's point, he wasn't thinking when he said this, or maybe he was. And I'll tell you why I think he was also thinking, because why did he say, why did he use black people as the example? Why do you have to say 400 years of slavery for black people?
Well,
what if he would have said, which some people do say the Holocaust isn't real. What if he would have used Jewish people in that?
Well, it would have been a totally different.
But what would have happened though? What would have been the repercussion of that? And the reason why I think Kanye West, and by the way, to be clear, I don't agree with anything Kanye says, but I also hold us accountable as well. We're way too forgiving. I think black people are way too forgiving. That's why I think that Kanye said what he said and he used black people as the example, because people are going to be like, yeah, well, he actually meant this and it's okay because he makes great music.
I think he also said it because he's black. It's something that he relates to, or I mean, probably not now. He does live in Hollywood, but I mean
Calabasas.
But he obviously at some point related to the average black person, right?
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
So, and we can't take away the fact that his mother was highly educated and he is highly educated, right? So the things that he say that may be crazy, I think that there's a point that he's trying to make. He's just horrible at making.
But highly educated in what?
Well, obviously he dropped out of college, right?
Right.
But what I more meant to say is that his mother was very educated. So he grew up in a family setting that his mother cared enough to educate him. So
But
like,
what is he highly educated in?
music.
So look,
So can I ask you something though? Do you think after everything that's happened, is it going to tarnish his brand?
Oh,
Or his
100%.
Are his fans going to say,
No,
you know what? He's going to
don't.
put out a new project and I'm not supporting
No. Hold on. No. We're not leaving this yet.
Okay.
I'm sorry. We're not leaving that. That's a great question, and we have to talk about that. But we're not leaving this yet.
Okay.
Let's talk about education.
Okay.
Right.
What is he educated in?
If I'm in a studio with Kanye West, I'm talking about 2018.
Okay.
Okay. And I go to a studio and I'm fully prepared. I got a whole song written out. I wrote like 6 verses, like 2 verses for each, whatever. I'm ready.
Fire.
and I got the beat all lined up and Kanye's like, no, do that. This is off the top, by the way. No, do that. Let's change the beat. Yo, rewrite that. Say it this way. Guess what? I'm going to listen to everything he says. And I'm going to do it exactly how he says it. Why? Because Kanye West has a track record, bro. Kanye West is a genius when it comes to making music. This political realm and, like speaking on like social issues today, 2018, today for black people, he has no idea what he's talking about. Kennedy, you're a father.
Yeah, definitely.
When your child goes to college or university and you pay the thousands of dollars that it costs to put your child in college or university, that professor that's teaching your daughter, you'd like them to be certified in some way, right? To at least have read a book. Kanye West openly admits that he doesn't read. Kanye West just started watching CNN. So the point that I'm trying to make is A, he's completely detached himself from anything that an average black person goes through. He lives in Calabasas. B, because of that alone, forget like not watching the news, because I don't have to watch the news to know that it's difficult to be black. So take not watching the news out of the equation. He's just totally separated himself from the black experience. So he shouldn't be speaking on this at all.
I think that he has a right to his opinion. Like who are we to say that he can't do that?
All right, so then check this out then. So in other words, what you're saying is when your beautiful daughter, your daughter, when she goes to college or university, some crazy dude off the street could teach that class. And the reason why I say that and the reason why I use that analogy is because, remember, we put Kanye West in this position. We're the ones who bought all his albums. We're the ones who bought the Yeezys. We're the ones who paid to go to the shows. We put him in this position. And the reason why I use that parallel is because when you pay that tuition, that tuition goes to that university pays that professor to teach your kid, right? So why would you pay money to a university to hire an unqualified professor? To my point, why are we continuously feeding this guy who has a massive platform that's, in other words, I want to say teaching, but influencing other people, and he's influencing them based on nothing. He doesn't know what sorry, Mom, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
So then the bigger question is that for all of the black professors and scholars that lean more on the right and their rhetoric seems more strident towards black people, are they qualified? Or is it because we can't handle what they have to say? Does that invalidate them? Because you're saying that Kanye isn't fit to say that. But the same type of words, not the actual words, but the same type of spirit is being taught by blacks who are highly educated and lean on the right, and they're very they're very critical of the black experience. And it seems to me that people still don't even want to give
people
those
that
guys,
lean on the right, but those people, bro. those people don't have the influence that Kanye West has. Let me tell you about influence.
Okay.
Sorry, and I'll let you go because this is about you. This is about influence. Bro, Kanye West came in the game when it was about baggy jeans and blah, blah, blah.
Shirts, yeah.
Kanye West came in the game wearing polo shirts, khakis, whatever. Totally prepped out.
Yeah.
Signed to Rockefeller. People talking about selling drugs. Kanye West popped. Guess what everybody else started wearing? Influence, bro. You cannot deny his influence.
Okay.
So the point is, if you have the ability to influence, which is fine, you're absolutely right. He is 100% entitled to say whatever he wants to say. But if you're going to align yourself with somebody like Donald Trump, which is a whole other conversation. I don't even know if you have time. But if you're going to align yourself with Donald Trump, bro, and you're going to use your platform, which again, you have influence. You tweet something. People take it as Bible. Dog, like, you may not because you're a grown man, but these kids out here who's also never read a book, they take what he's saying as Bible. So T.I. asked Kanye, Kanye goes, I don't agree with everything he does. Like all his so what policies do you agree? I don't know. Bro, Kanye doesn't even know what the travel ban is.
Yeah, he had no idea.
Look.
Listen, and I'll let you go, and I'm so sorry, but I just have to finish this point. He's totally free to say whatever he wants. I say the most reckless stuff on this podcast. I would hate for somebody to come to me and say, Chris, you can't say that. He's totally free to say whatever he wants, but when you're in a position of influence and you have a platform of 30 million, you could touch 30 million people just by tweeting, and you're influential. He prides himself on that, being the most. He's Michael Jackson. He's Walt Disney, right? So, and you have influence. Why would you say these things without knowing fully what it is you're talking about? Go.
Well,
it's loaded, right?
Definitely
loaded Lux.
Okay, well, so I'll start with who he aligns himself with, right? Because Kanye actually had a chance to explain why he was taking pictures with Trump, why he even tweeted, etc. Okay.
Yeah.
I know people say, right, Trump is a racist and ray-tay-tay. And if he's not a racist, then he hangs around people that are racist because he needed somebody to back him. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hit that point, okay, because that is a totally another topic. But again, tons of people have touched hands with Donald Trump. Tons of your favorite rappers.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
But you got to understand too. I'm sorry to chime in, but even I was watching an interview. I can't remember who was being interviewed. Trump's name has been mentioned in hip hop for years.
I think they said like it's either 200 or 400 times plus.
You think of even like Mobb Deep, and they talk about Trump. And Trump they used as a symbolism as a figure, not the person. They speak of him as being a level of what do you call it? A level of success.
Yeah.
So they look at him as not as Trump, the guy with the red hair. They look at Trump as I want to be at the level of success and have the riches like Trump. I don't necessarily respect the man or want to be him.
Okay.
But when you think about all the hip hop records that were back in the 90s. Everybody talked about the Trump Tower. Everybody talked about having Trump money. Like there's rhymes and there's metaphors about Trump throughout it.
Yeah, there's Black Trump, Coco Chavez.
There you go. So like you think like Trump has been idolized in a way through the hip hop culture for years. So for Kanye to mention Trump as somebody who he may admire in a certain way, which I don't understand.
I understand it.
I understand it, but I don't want to understand it because the relevance between Kanye and Trump are two completely different worlds to me. Like Kanye is supposed to be representing the blacks. Trump represents whoever the hell he represents. And I don't understand how he could even relate to Trump in any way, shape, or form on his views or characters. Because
there is one. Say whatever you feel.
Right. The freedom of speech.
Yeah.
But at the same time, does Kanye really think that what comes out of Trump's mouth is actually his dialogue?
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. That thought that you were talking about that earlier on, for every human being, it comes from the same spot, right?
Yeah.
That spark, right? Whatever your teachings are, your moral fiber, okay, dictates whether that thought manifests into words
Right.
or not. Am I right?
Yeah, of course.
Right. You know what I mean? This is why there is a certain demeanor that we all hold whenever we're speaking to somebody. We know we don't just start swearing, or we know we don't point out something, right?
Right.
Right.
Kanye is a celebrity, but not only is he a celebrity, he is someone with deep-rooted mental issues, but it had nothing to do with now. He's had this his entire life, right? And I've seen this, and he actually suffers from something called grandiose narcissism. Okay,
He's a narcissist,
but it's the largest
It's the-
level.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, it's
Okay,
like
okay.
and if you hear him speak and you watch him carefully,
Yeah.
he literally switches in between personalities.
Yeah, I've seen that happen.
And it's like he's trying to appeal to as many people as possible.
all at once.
And that's why when that guy said what he said, and then the girl came, you see how he's like, brother,
Talking about Van.
Exactly.
Yes.
You see,
He's like, can I hug
it's
you?
like now he doesn't care to speak about anybody. He just knows that he did something wrong.
Yeah.
And now he has to go and make it right.
Huh.
Gave the guy like that little half.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
half
Yeah,
hug, whatever.
yeah.
But again, this is a theme that I've seen from Kanye forever. So when you said Kanye's in the sunken place, I mean, he's always been like that. Always. It's just now he has a different opinion. That's it.
So I believe in growth. I think that
Of
you're
course.
allowed to grow, and you're allowed to kind of change the way you think. But I mean, do you understand like why people are hurt by this?
I do. And you said grow. You and we actually spoke at the party. I used to be, bro. You have no idea. I used to be so on the left, so Black Lives Matter, so hurt by what I thought was an attack on my identity, right?
Okay.
Being a black man. It wasn't until I started to separate, which I don't want you guys to be like, okay, well, now you're in the sunken place. But I started separating myself with the people that brought negativity in my life with the same mindset as me. We all claim to be victims. Everyone was out to get us because we're black. We would sit in circles and stew off of our own energy and then do bad things. And then wonder why we would get pointed out or profiled.
I can understand what you're saying.
And I kept doing it, and I kept doing it. And then I would start saying things, and certain individuals in my crew would, be like, you can't say that. Well, why not? Well, because you're black, like you just don't say that. So I started thinking, if I'm a victim, right, how do I get power? Because a victim is powerless.
Right.
Like we understand that. A
Of
victim
course.
is a powerless person. Okay, they have been stripped and robbed of their power.
Yep.
How do we get that back as a black man, or as a black man with little kids? You know what I'm saying? I mean, a few years ago, I know that my eldest son would watch me watch videos of police beating up on black men, and
Yeah.
he would see me visibly shaken, yelling, getting upset, right? I don't even know the context. I just see it. And because I've been programmed by my parents and they've been programmed by their parents, it's a narrative that we keep feeding each other.
It's almost deliberate.
So I don't mean to interrupt your free thought here.
I did have after you. I have a question for
And
you.
we back. Okay, so to your point about seeing, a black person, getting viciously beaten, shot, killed on camera for no reason. What should they have done? Like how excuse me, let me rephrase the question. So you could go back in time and you're enlightened now.
Yeah.
Right? So how would you have reacted?
Oh, like from the way that I think.
So
now.
So that specific moment when you said you're watching this this black guy get viciously beaten by a cop and you're visibly shaken in front of your child. So now with your new free thinking self, how, if you can go back in time and your child is watching you visibly how would you have reacted? What would you have done differently?
Well, first I wouldn't be watching videos of a man getting his life taken away by the police. What I started doing is, instead of just listening to someone's Facebook post about the context that they've created about that video, I would actually go and find out what happened.
Okay.
Okay. Because for anybody, black, white, or whatever, okay, you're selling yourself short if you just listen and believe.
Well, obviously.
Exactly.
Of course. You should never do that.
Right. Okay. So once I see this video, I look up where it's from. Is there more to the video? Is there any files that I could visibly see that the police have given? And if I can, then I can make my own mind up, right? Once I started doing that, though, and I started to instead of shut off people who don't have the same view as me and be like, whatever, you're just racist.
Right.
I started listening, and I started taking two avenues of information, and I started going, okay, this one's telling me just to believe them.
Right.
The other one's saying, okay, you don't have to believe me, okay, but I compel you to believe me if you get some more information, because you're going to sell yourself short. So I started doing that. Yeah. And then I started realizing that there is a pattern. Number one, police officers do not run rampantly and shoot people for no reason. Okay. If we're going to talk about one-offs, we can talk about one-offs. We can talk about the Freddie Grays and all the other stuff. But the consensus, I hope you guys are sane enough to agree that whenever you're walking on the street and you see an officer, that's all it ever ended in. You seen him and then he walked away. He didn't just start shooting at somebody.
No, obviously
of course not.
Okay. But at the same time, there is a level of intimidation that you feel when you see a police officer driving behind you, beside you.
Fair enough.
You know what? Walking
I'm not
up the
arguing
street.
that. I'm just
does that happen
saying,
to you?
Absolutely.
But why is that fear instilled in us to have that?
Two reasons. One, I used to be a little hooligan. I'm sorry, Mom.
We all, but the thing is, we all have been in that situation.
Two, if somebody says that there is a possible threat, I'm going to say in 2014, what does everyone do? If someone said that there's a possible threat, everyone doubles down. We have to take away this. We have to take away that. It becomes this extremely big fear propaganda. Okay, makes you scared. And chilling with your homies, they aren't going to give you the information that you need. They're just going to reinforce it for you.
Okay. So to backpedal on your conversation, when we were talking about blacks, when you were having a conversation with your dudes, you were sitting around and you were saying about why don't you dress better?
Yeah,
or whatever. Because, as black people, more so in the United States than here in Canada, playing victim and saying, I can't get a job. They won't hire me, based on the color of my skin, rayo, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Why do you feel, and this pisses me off all the time because I hire people and I try to be as neutral as possible and not judge somebody by the way they look. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard. You want people to be presentable when they're working with you. But as a black person, I know I've been judged my entire life from the moment I came out to now. Even just walking down the street, I'm an old man in his 40s. So for you talking to your friends, and I know you have black friends, we all do, why do you feel as though it's important for black people to present them a certain way, but other groups of people don't have that? Like you don't see a group of white guys saying to their friends, hey man, hey Jimmy, I think you should dress better so you can get a job. Like I've seen people go into their place of business or possible place of business with a resume looking like a scrub. And it's a white guy. But if a black guy is wearing his pants below his bum, showing off his boxer shorts, would you rather hire the white guy dressed like that, or would you rather hire the black guy dressed like that?
I'd rather hire the person that dresses presentable for the type of business that I'm conducting.
But what if the black?
But hold on, Devine. Don't stray away from your original question because you kind of diverted from your point by saying, "Would you rather?" I think the point that he was trying to make is a white person or just a non-person of color,
Right.
Can go into a place of employment and apply for a job looking a certain way, or to
And
use your
yeah,
words, a scrub,
yeah.
and then a person of color could walk in dressed up the exact same way, and then that's an issue.
And
Okay.
they'll be judged. Like,
So-
why do you feel as though you had to have that
So-
conversation to say, why don't you feel like you should dress better?
Okay, so for all the people watching, okay, I'm not going to deny that there isn't a bias socially whenever you see a black person, because we all do it because of how we've been taught. I'm not saying that that's not there.
What have we been taught? I'm missing the point.
We've been taught that if we're in a bad neighborhood and you see a hooded figure and he's dark,
That he's gonna hurt somebody.
Who's
right?
been taught that?
Yeah.
everybody
But who-
media,
but who
media
taught
has
it?
put that fear into people.
everybody teaches everybody that that it is definitely not okay to be black and look urban. This is something that I'm aware of. I'm 100% aware of that. My thing is that I'm all about working out a solution to this problem. Okay. And I think that's what gets people whenever they hear me talk. They go, okay, so are you going to deny the fact that people don't look at black people? No, of course. I know that. But the only way to get past that,
Is to take the stigma away.
thank you. That's
Right?
it.
No, I
hold
hear
on
what
for
you're
a
saying,
second.
but
So I
at the
just- I
same
just-
time,
I just wanna
sorry,
be-
1 second. But
Yeah.
I hear what he's saying, and I want to agree with that, and I really do, and I want to be like pro Kenny on that. But at the same time, like, sorry, Mom, I have to swear, but fuck that.
Hold on.
Like,
Now, I wanna
because
know what you're saying.
Why
Fuck that
shouldn't
about.
you be who you want
Oh,
to
that's
be?
what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
All I'm
So-
saying, because he's saying like we want to remove the stigma from black people dressed up in garments that they feel that represent them.
Yeah.
Like, if I want to wear a hoodie and rock some baggy jeans and rock a hoodie to work or whatever, wherever I work, doesn't matter. Why shouldn't I be allowed to represent who I want to be?
Now,
without somebody saying,
hold on,
he's black, he's gonna be a
Now,
threat.
I just want to add a little bit more context to that, and you could stop me if I'm wrong, but I imagine you're not ignorant to the fact that if you work in like a law.
Okay, I'm not. That's why I said
Clerk's office,
depending
you
on
can't
where you
wear a
work.
hoodie.
No, I'm saying depending on where you
But-
work. Or I'm just talking about going to the store, for
Okay.
example. Like, when I go to the store, I don't want to have to worry about the clerk at like an A&P or a Loblaws or somewhere being intimidated by a black person wearing a fucking hoodie. Pardon me. I'm getting angry because why is it okay for other groups of people to do that but not us? And this is something I've dealt with my whole life, because when I lived in Oshawa, I went through some BS because of the color of my skin and how my crew of people I was around were dressed. The security guards labeled us as a gang, but there was a group of white kids that were dressed pretty damn similar to us, but they weren't considered a gang. So to me, that stigma will never be removed until we dress different. But the white kids can
Not
like in
not
all
really
fairness,
that.
I feel that
It's
that's a
not-
bunch
No,
of
no,
BS.
that's fair. How do you
Okay.
respond to that?
So
Then I want to get on
so
this.
there's a social stigma,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
How do you change it? I haven't said what it is, but how do you change it?
How do I change it?
Yeah, there's just a social stigma.
A social stigma is like, I'm a proud black man.
Yeah.
And I know I'm educated. I know I have a full-time career. I know I have a wife and a daughter. So the way I present myself shouldn't represent who I am as a human being.
Okay.
This is just my outfit.
Okay.
Just as much as a police officer wears an
So,
outfit.
absolutely.
That doesn't mean they are who
He's not saying what it is.
Mm-hmm.
He's just saying there's a social stigma. How do you change it?
how do you change it though? We can't change the minds of others and how they believe we
Beautiful.
are. Right?
Beautiful.
Right?
So at least now you're starting to take the journey with me.
I
You cannot
Yeah.
change.
No, you cannot.
How other people perceive you.
Absolutely not.
You can only, as an individual,
change your inner
Exactly.
No, and brother, I totally
So-
feel
Let the
you.
man say what he's saying. I'm curious.
So the social
Yeah.
stigma can change if people act accordingly. You see, you listed things about you. Okay, there's something virtuous about you. Okay, you have a full-time job.
Yeah.
You're a committed man with a daughter.
Yep.
Okay, what is the black community missing?
Dads.
See, now we're actually heading into a different
different
bigger,
category.
It's bigger
Hold
than
on for a
Kanye,
second.
but it
Hold on
still
for a
has something to
second.
do with it.
Yeah, hold on for a
okay,
second. I'm not gonna let you play that card because, and I'll tell you why. Because that stigma has been done for quite some time.
It's not done.
Dads,
No, that's not done, brother.
That's not done.
Deadbeat dads
That's
are
not
like,
done.
oh, black dudes are gonna hit it and quit it and get you pregnant and peace out. That's been out the door for quite some time.
I don't know what's
that's been out the door.
I don't
for
know.
Quite some time,
I don't know
bro.
what stat sheets you reading. I know that you look like a stand-up guy, right?
Why? Thank you.
And you're acting like a stand-up guy. And I would like to think that as much as I might be a-hole to some people, that I'm a stand-up guy to some degree. Can you say that about other people in your circle? And if they're black, can you still say the same thing? Right? You have to the thing is you have to find something other than you being black as your failure. We can't default to slavery if you fail. We can't default to slavery if you're just a shitty person. You know what I mean? You have to own that.
So what about Trayvon Martin? Was he a shitty person?
I didn't know him personally. Very, very sad that a young life got taken. But funny that you mentioned that. That's actually when I was at my fieriest point.
Yeah.
So when I read the story, I had a really high opinion, but I blocked out half of the stats that were being pushed out. Like,
Yeah.
I blocked out half of the stats that were being pushed out for my emotions. Right. One of the characteristics that can really change the way that you act or that you perceive data. Right. If you get upset and then somebody's telling you something, you're only hearing half of that, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
So if I'm only hearing half of the story, but I have such a high opinion, it only makes sense that it's coming from a bad place, right? But I don't think that kid deserved to die. But again, I wasn't there. I don't actually know what actually happened.
Nobody
right?
does.
And that's literally the hardest part, is that we don't know what actually happened. We just know that
We're just given that part of the story.
and there's a narrative behind it, right?
Yeah.
It was black versus white.
Well, he's Spanish.
Well, yes.
Yeah, but okay, but anyways, the point is, and I do have a question to. I don't want to focus on that too much. The Trayvon situation, RIP. But I just want to say something to that and then move on to your point. But buddy, which I don't even want to give his name any light, but that fucking piece of shit.
Whoa, sorry, mom.
Sorry,
that was harsh.
She understands why I'm saying this.
Sometimes you have to put emphasis on.
But
certain
the
ideas.
dude who murdered Trayvon Martin was told to stay in the car and do not pursue. He wasn't a threat. He was told to stay in. He was not a cop. He was told to stay in the car and do not pursue him, and he chose otherwise. And that's what happened. But anyways, so
Okay.
what I'm trying to say, or what I wanted to say, black dads. I got him right here. I'm trying to say black dads. So, your kids go out in the world, and the world is the world, right? How do you tell them to?
We already
Do
had
we
this
have the
discussion.
same
We actually had this
right?
discussion.
So
We
do
did.
we
We
have?
did.
Do you think white dads have the same conversations with their white sons that black dads have to have with their
Absolutely
black
not.
sons?
I
Now hold on,
personally don't
calm
think
down.
so.
Everybody take it easy. Everybody take it easy, because that was a rhetorical question, obviously.
'Cause we all
or maybe
know-
not. I think Kenny has something to say about that.
You
Okay.
were really not going to say white dads.
Listen
have
to what
the
I'm
same
saying. Let
him hear-
conversation
let him-
with Bill.
let's- come on.
So okay, I have a nice group of white friends.
Yeah.
Who are just so candid and genuine enough to give me their perspective on how they feel, coming into this new age that we're in. Okay. So from what you said is, do you think that white fathers are telling their white children the same kind of things that a black father would be like, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this? I think nowadays, they are, because
Hold on, and
let me
really?
explain.
Okay,
Really?
hold on,
Let me explain.
and you know what? And I apologize. I should have been much more direct.
Yeah, 'cause
with
I'm-
my question.
Okay.
because obviously they're telling us that could be about anything. It could be
Yeah.
about sex. It could be about sports. No, sorry, much more direct.
Yeah.
When you get pulled over by a police officer, son, this is how you need to behave. Do you think that black fathers are having a different conversation than white fathers are having with their son? That is really the question. I thought we were going there because we were talking about
I knew the direction you were going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the way that we're looking at things socially now, probably not.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now
if we're gonna stick on race, though,
we are.
Okay, I think that they're having a different type of conversation, and I think the conversation might go something like this:
Who, black fathers or white fathers?
White fathers to their white son. Okay, son, you're about to go out into the world. Okay, I just want to let you know something. Anything you say, someone will call you racist for it. So don't say anything at all. Don't believe in anything at all. Okay, be cordial and smile and agree with the masses, because that's going to keep you your job and a roof over your head. And if you think that what I'm saying is crazy, then that's crazy, because there are tons of white guys that I've spoken to personally who want to give their opinion on what's happening now.
But
they're so scared because anything that they say is used against them.
Hold on.
If you're not going to think that that's not
Hold
stigma,
on.
It's true.
I love
It's true.
that. I
It's
love
true.
that.
It's
No.
true.
But I love that so much, and I'll tell you why I love that so much, dude. That was like alley-oop. but I'll tell you why.
Three-pointer with no rim.
And before I even say what I want to say, I just want to get clarification, because I agree with what you just said. By the way,
totally agree.
I 100% do. But I just want to ask, and we just got to respect the time. What are they afraid of?
what are they afraid of?
White people. For speaking up, what are they afraid of?
Any and everything.
But like, just namely.
Modern age, third wave feminism, pro black groups, other minorities,
doing
persecution.
So wait. So and to be clear, so are you saying that they do want to step up and speak up against the things that black people are going through? Is that what you're saying?
I think more or less they just have an opinion, a healthy opinion, like, because it's healthy to have an opinion, right? To see something and formulate a thought. It's unhealthy to see something, formulate a thought, and then swallow it. That's terrible.
Like, so you think if a white person,
hold on, I'm sorry, Devine. I just want to make sure I'm getting what he's saying. So what you're saying is, like, a white person will be like, you know what? If black people just only,
but they can't say that.
But they don't. But I just want to be clear. Is that what you're saying?
I have heard that, but not coming from the spirit that you're probably trying to project.
No, that's not.
I just want to make sure that you don't think they're going, if black people only.
No. In the most helpful and positive way possible. I just want to be clear. So are you telling me that a lot of white people want to give their opinion in the context of, if they just only do this, they would be a lot better off? Not coming from a malicious place, just a place in wanting to help. Are you?
Sure. Sure.
But is that what you're saying?
Well, more than just that. But I mean, I have heard
generally
that. But I mean,
do you think that they should give their opinion on that?
Do I think that they should be allowed to, or do I think that they should?
Yeah. Do you think that they should? Actually, let's go with that.
I have an answer. Let me just say this quickly. Yes, they should.
Why?
And I'll tell you why. Because if they don't, we're still holding each other at a distance. If we keep not allowing other groups to interject in the relationships that we have with one another.
I'm converting Mike a bit.
No. But because I'm a free thinker, I'm a realist, right? Yeah. I'm the person who lays back in the cut and I absorb all of this. And then I come in and I interject quickly.
Bro.
All I have to say is, I feel personally that if other groups don't intermix and figure each other out, we're always going to be held at a distance.
To be clear, white people are allowed to have their opinion.
They better be.
But no. You're saying something totally different. You don't even know what you're saying, bro. They better be.
He's saying that you're Kanye right
now.
No.
What I'm saying is this, bro. If you don't know what it's like to walk down the street and see a cop car drive by, and you're good, you just came from school, whatever, and be nervous, and nothing happened, but just to be, if you don't know what that's like, you don't deserve to have an opinion on that. Now hear me out. When I say that they can have an opinion, they need to earn the right to express that opinion. So the point that I'm trying to make is this: if there's a march happening, if there's protests happening, legitimate reasons for black people to protest, legitimate reasons for white people to march, if you're not down there protesting with us, hand in hand, marching with us, side by side, you don't have a right to give your opinion on us. You ain't there on the front lines. What are you giving your opinion for? You need to earn the right to express that opinion.
I don't know.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. How else, dude, how are you going to give it? So this is why you understand. This is why you're siding with Kanye West. Because Kanye West,
because of the freedom to do it, right?
Because Kanye West, again, to my point, is speaking on something he knows nothing about. He's talking about 2018. He's talking about the black experience for a black man in 2018, or even just the 2000s, and he has no idea what that's like. Just to my point, a white person is allowed to give their opinion, but they need to earn that right.
But then who allows them to do that?
We do. Black people as a community. The people that are struggling.
I mean, but we're taking away a right that everybody has for something that we feel they don't have a right to do.
Because we feel like we own it.
That to me sounds oddly racist.
Nah.
If I am telling,
listen
to this, whatever plight that I've been through, if I'm telling you because you haven't been through that plight, or if you don't have the same color skin that I do, to even associate yourself with that plight, then you don't have a right to speak. That's insane.
I didn't say that.
It doesn't, but I mean, I could take what you said and take that out of it, because you just spoke in an absolute. You said that they do not have the right because they weren't in the front line. That's an absolute. There is no second choice on that. It's just that's what it is.
And actually, okay, then you're right. I stand by that.
Okay, fair enough.
I stand by that 100%. Dude, you ain't gonna tell me that chicken is amazing and you never had chicken.
Okay, but I could still have an opinion on it. You know what I mean?
Do you have a right? Do you have a right to have that opinion?
Well, we all have the right to have an opinion in the place that we live, right? And Kanye is a horrible person at speaking that. But let me do a quick little thing. There was this black guy.
Yeah.
Okay. He washes and hems one of the KKK's like members, like clothing.
A black guy.
Find it on YouTube. It's crazy. Listen to what the man says. Okay. He says, I don't believe a single thing that they say. Okay. I don't believe in a single thing that they say. Okay. But I respect the right as a free man to let them have their own free speech.
Where is this taking place?
It's in the States.
Okay, so hold on a second. You're meaning to tell me that the Klan like drops off their stuff to this man.
It's about, I think, about a 10-minute video. Yeah.
I have to find this video.
And the thing is that if somebody has ill will towards me, okay, or carries malice, all right, should I hate them for it?
Well, I think it was T.I. who made a point about that.
Not even should I hate them. Should I kill them for it?
No, I didn't say all that.
No. But I mean, hate can cause people to end somebody's life.
We know this.
Okay, so if someone's over on that side and they have their opinion, and even if their opinion is, I want him to go back to Africa, which is geographically incorrect because people don't know that Africa is a continent and there are many, many, many countries in that place, but they'll say go back to Africa, right?
Right.
I still respect it, although it pisses me off. Okay, don't for the people watching, do not assume that I'm anti-black. I love my black people, okay, but I'm at a place in my life that I feel that instead of giving somebody, I'll actually quote what my wife says. She knows that some people have addictions, right? But how do you treat a person with an addiction?
Try to help them.
Exactly. Even if it means you have to be a little bit abrasive, okay? Because you know that at the end of the day, you can help them through it.
Yeah.
Better yet, if people want to get in shape, do you go and you hire a personal trainer that goes, good job, go get him, you know?
No, of course not.
And you're not even seeing gains, but he's like, yeah, man. You know, you're gonna be like, bro, tell me what I like.
Tell me how to get
Tell me
brolic.
I'm fat.
Tell me
Like,
what I need to do.
You know what I
Trying
mean?
to get brolic, man. Like, what the hell?
Brackets.
I'm literally just sitting on the other side looking and saying, okay, if there's baggage, let's find a solution. Because I have yet to find one black man or woman that I've had this discussion with, and it's gotten way more heated than you guys might even think this is, and they have yet to give me any solution.
Okay.
Nothing.
Yeah, but you know what it sounds like? It just sounds like the solution
Is tough it up? You say like tough it up and just
No, not that. It just sounds like the solution that like Candace Owens, Kanye West, Kenny C, Kenny C S
Nope.
CEE
Kenny
999
CEE 999
Instagram.
and I will sing for you. Okay.
Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is it just sounds like the solution that everybody's talking about is to appease the oppressor.
No.
That's what it sounds like.
No.
And by the way, and let me also make something clear. You guys know I like white people, right? I have lots of white friends. But anyways, that's what it sounds like.
Appeasing the oppressor.
And I use the word oppressor loosely. Obviously, I know we ain't changed right now. Mentally,
Mental.
But the point that I'm trying to make is the solution that everybody, it goes back to your point. It's like, bruh, don't resist arrest, bruh. Yo, bruh, you're going for a job interview, bruh. Dress nice, bruh.
Well,
yo,
yeah.
what it sounds like is it's like, yo, bruh, white people run the world, bruh. So if they want you to straighten up and fly right, bruh, and talk a certain way, bruh, talk that way, bruh. No. The solution, bruh. No, middle ground, man. Middle ground.
Beautiful.
Middle ground.
But there has to be, it's like someone has to start making that movement.
Yeah, white people. Racist white people.
But racist white people are not the majority. They're still a minority.
I love that. That's so awesome. That goes back to my point about white people needing to earn the right to speak their opinion, because there's a lot of white people that believe in what we're trying to do and what we're saying, and they agree 100%. Dude, you think, like I said, I have lots of white friends. I love my white brothers. But what I'm saying is those people, they don't speak up. They don't say something because they're in fear that they're going to lose something that we don't even have. So their job, their security.
Those people that are appeasing black people, they're now earning that right because they're appeasing us. But the question is, what did they do to us?
You're talking about my good white brothers.
In this generation, what have they done to us?
Dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Was it okay, yo, bro?
What did they do to us?
Malcolm. Excuse me, was it Malcolm or was it Martin? Was it Malcolm or was it Martin? They said, yo, if you're watching something bad happen and you're not doing or saying anything about it, you are just as guilty. Yeah. Yo, bro, black people, not black people, these racist white people or the white people who are in power, the Donald Trumps and all that, they don't care about us. They don't care if we're dying in the street. They don't care nothing about that. They're not going to listen to us. They need to hear it from their own white brethren who actually has influence. So to my point, if they are not saying anything, I don't want to hear, if you're not taking up for us, I don't want to hear your opinion. I don't want to hear you saying, well, you need to speak with proper grammar. You'll get a lot further in life. No, we're getting shot up in the middle of the street. Bro, remember when the gorilla was that gorilla? They had to put the gorilla down.
Harambe.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. White people, not all of y'all, white people were up in arms, going crazy. They're gonna put the gorilla down. When innocent black people are getting shot down in the street, where the fuck were they?
Okay, so
let's hear more about a fucking animal than a fucking human.
Okay, first off,
yeah, there's something.
Sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. You get it.
I mean,
that's a good point.
They killed Harambe, but did anyone talk about the kid's mom who just let the kid wander into the cage?
Oh yeah, that was effed up.
Okay. Yeah. Secondly, it's not just black people that are getting shot. Deny the fact that white people and other people have been getting killed and murdered the same way.
Yeah.
You can find the same type of videos. The only issue is that you hear about it if it's a black person because it fits the narrative. You'll see it on the news. The news eats it up. There'll be thousands of people parading the streets ready to burn stuff down. Okay? When a white person gets shot by a cop, you don't hear anything.
Well, it's
you
not
don't even see
publicized.
anything.
It's not going to
So
be.
it's like, so their life didn't matter either to anybody.
So with what you just said, right? My whole issue is the fact that a cop will kill a black person or just a person of color or really anyone. It's not just about black people, it's really anyone, right? And there's no repercussion. And it just sets the standard for the next cop to get away with it. And the next one, and the next one, and the next one.
That's not a white problem. That's a
blue problem.
That's an actual issue within the government that has to be fixed.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's honestly, I've been through this over and over. I mean, over and over, where when people were having fun doing whatever, I was sifting through my, laptop, just gathering information. And I don't know, man. The more that I look in all places instead of just one, the more I see that it's not as unbalanced as we're making it out to be. Okay?
I totally disagree.
Okay, well then I challenge you to prove me otherwise. Start going into different outlets. Start finding those stats. And start looking at them.
In a sense, like I'm not saying I'm siding with Kenny C, and I'm not saying I'm
I'm the pariah right now.
I'm more of a neutral. I'm more of a neutral fish swimming in the big ocean. I'm not finding Nemo. I'm just in there. And when I listen to what you're saying, I understand where you're coming from, because I feel like I'm at a level of success where I did this on my own. I didn't ask for favors from people. I chose my direction in life to swim in the ocean, to be that big fish. You know what I mean? So for me to say, oh, people don't like me because of the color of my skin or whatever. Yeah, I have dealt with that my whole life, and it had set me back at certain times, but
doesn't define you.
It doesn't define me. Like, I love who I am. I would not change being black for anything in the entire world, but it did have its moments where it's like, holy shit, like, this is tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm at the level in my life where I don't look in the mirror and say, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people still get up like with this monkey on their back, like, yeah, I have something to prove. I'm black, so I got to go out there and prove that I'm black. Nobody asked you when you were born to prove that you're black. We damn well know black people are black people when you look at them in the mirror. Like, when I look at the two of you sitting here, I know you're black. You don't have to prove it to me. What you need to prove to yourself?
I was gonna pull some stuff like, I'm actually part Irish,
part Cherokee Indian.
Yeah. No, but I got the good hair from.
To my point is, and like, this is almost a Will Smith quote, is you can be whoever you want to be. You can be as successful as you want to be, but the only person stopping you from being that person is you.
Is yourself.
Because if you have those inner demons and those ailments that hold you back from success, you won't be successful. I wanted to be a certain level of success within 5 years. I had a 5-year goal. I said to my wife, I have a 5-year goal. And she said to me, cool.
As she said, you're already 2 years in. And
I didn't realize the level of success. It's like, you already did. But like, I said to myself, I'm going to set this goal for myself. And I said, when I get there, I'm tattooing the number 5 on me. And I did. I literally got to that goal. And I remember sharing success stories with you.
Yeah.
About promotions. And I'm not trying to gloat. I'm just saying, people, just because we're of color doesn't mean we cannot succeed.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean
no one's
it's not a hindering
and no
of
one's
our,
also
it's not a hindering
that
of
we
for our
should
success.
be forgetting about the past.
Because the past
that is not my rhetoric tonight.
It's not mine either. I'm not saying that it's not important.
But no one is saying that.
But we need to use that to our advantage. Yeah, but nobody's saying in that situation.
No one's saying
again.
that black people can't succeed. All I'm trying to say is, it for some reason, it takes Johnny one try. And when Tyrone does the exact same thing, it takes Tyrone 10 times to do the same thing. That's all I'm saying.
I hear you.
I have seen that, but I've also seen the opposite.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So again,
and I celebrate those moments.
But at the same time, do you not find that it's happening more so now than ever that we are getting through the door a lot more than usual?
That's because of the
Well, of course.
And don't base it on a status quo. Don't
I'm
base
not.
it on.
Well,
I'm
well,
saying
it
well,
is the
of course.
status quo. What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What, getting through the doors based on a
Yeah,
status quo?
absolutely.
I've been with my company since I was 16, 17.
Hold on. Wait
So
a
we
second.
can't
What are you
base
saying?
that
I don't
on.
get- I
No,
don't get the
we're
status
saying
quo. What are you guys saying?
you don't know. You know what a status quo is, obviously.
do know,
right?
but
So what I'm saying
say it
is
in the context that
our
you guys
level
are
of
tripping
success
out. Yeah.
and getting through the door before Jimmy and Tyrone getting through.
there is
Let's
a-
not base that on a status quo of them getting through.
There is a political narrative now that that you guys are very aware of. Even with the police that we're hiring, what are they asking for?
They want more
They
people
want
of
more
color, of course.
minorities.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Women
I know.
too.
And
Teachers.
This isn't just with police officers. This is in all fields. It's teachers,
nurses, everything.
that is the direction that we're going.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an issue with that. Okay, right? I do not. As long as the person that's operating on me can actually do the job. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're definitely
Okay?
right. I don't care what color skin
If,
you are.
okay, if a black
doesn't matter
surgeon
to
gets
me.
through because he's a black surgeon, but he's a horrible surgeon, I don't want him operating
him.
on
Has
me.
nothing
okay?
because he's black.
Okay,
It's just
I don't want Cosby
If you're-
delivering my wife's baby.
not you, Cliff. Not you,
Keeping
Cliff.
it real, man. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
if you're letting people through the door to resemble the community that they represent, just make sure that they have skill.
Right, they're qualified.
Yeah, that's it. Right.
Yeah.
That's another topic that I won't dive too deep into.
It's a deep topic.
But to keep it on the theme, because I actually wrote is Kanye West in the sunken place, and I still don't think he is.
So let's talk about that and let's bring it to a wrap because I highly as a matter of fact, let me just even say this right now. Those of you listening to this on Maximum FM, shout out my boogie. He's ending the show right now. However, the extended version is available on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Go ahead.
I do not believe that he's in the sunken place. At least the way that we're trying to define it, right? I believe that him not being what's the word? Familiar with the area that black people are in now has nothing to do with him hanging around white people. I think it's just because he's just rich, right? It happens to a lot of artists and movie
of
stars.
course.
Yeah.
So it's nothing to do with a sunken place. I think it's just because he's black and that movie, and it just makes sense that if somebody of color says something just a little bit
Outlandish.
But I agree with what you're saying, but I also disagree because I don't think it just has to do with because he's rich. I do believe it has to do with because he is traditionally in the sunken place. If you've seen the movie Get Out, you know.
I have.
Okay, you know what it's about. And Kanye West is in Calabasas, and he's surrounded by. So he's surrounded by the Kardashians.
What if he was in like Chicago still, and then he still spoke that? Could we still have that argument?
No, we couldn't.
Because then he'd be like, well, he's in the hood every day, and he's still saying that
But
stuff.
guess what?
That's
though?
why I had these 20 things of the craziest things he said, even when he wasn't in Calabasas.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on for a second, and I'm gonna let you get to that list. But guess what? I do believe that if Kanye West was still in Chicago, South Side, and like he was seeing all this stuff happening, I 100% don't believe that he would be saying all this stuff. Bro, you can't stick your hands in a pile of mud and then pull your hands out and tell me your hands are clean. It's dirty. Like it is what it is.
Of course.
So what's the craziest things that Kanye West seen when he wasn't in the sunken place?
Oh my gosh, here we go.
We should have some music going.
Okay, so this is the grandiose side. When you're the absolute best, you get hated on the most. Okay, my goal, if I was going to do fine art, would have been to become Picasso or greater. That always sounds so funny to people, comparing myself to someone who has done so much, and that's a mentality that suppresses humanity.
Okay.
Hold on. So the voices in my head told me go, and then I just walked up like halfway up the stage, but I just didn't really want to take away from Beck's moment or the time he's having to talk. It was kind of a joke.
What?
I am God's vessel, but my greatest pain in life is that I will never be able to see myself perform live. I can keep going about how sometimes. Okay, now this I actually told to my buddy. I said, if I came up to you in a friggin' subway and then I said these words, what would you say? Okay. Sometimes people write novels and they just be so wordy and so self-absorbed. I'm not a fan of books. I would never want a book's autograph. I'm a proud non-reader of books. The man said, I probably...
What the hell is that?
The point is that he says...
That's a soundbite.
He says extremely insane things.
Definitely insane.
And people enable him to say them because they praise his genius. So he thinks that being weird or tongue-in-cheek helps out his genius. That's why he does it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why he reminds you every other sentence that he's a genius.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, Charlemagne, I know we're talking about shoes, but did I mention that I'm a genius? It's like...
He wants to keep... Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I've never heard of a genius ever say that
they are a genius.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
And this is a problem with, again, mental health, which is a actual issue. I think that Kanye has actual issues.
Absolutely.
Okay, but I think that he got them when he became famous. I don't think that this Sunken place has created someone crazy, because all of the news outlets that I was hearing, ones that push more left, they were saying, especially the black people, oh, he's crazy. Oh, he's crazy now. Because I knew. So when you sent me that, I laughed. I said, this man's been saying crazy stuff forever.
Oh yeah, a lot of people.
So crazy.
No. A lot of people are really just totally not shocked about any of this.
Yeah.
But the part, and to be clear, it's not about being shocked. It's about being hurt. Like you gotta, again, I go back to influence. You gotta remember, like when Kanye West first came on the scene, Kanye West didn't just make great music and people were listening to his music and reciting his lyrics in the shower and going, no, Kanye West literally shaped how people live their lives. True. You understand what I'm saying? Like he did that, bro. So when Kanye West was standing up for, I'm just going to say, standing up for black people, people of color, when George Bush doesn't care about black people, all that stuff like that, like people are like, yes, brother, speak. We need somebody with a platform that's not afraid to say anything. Kanye West shaped the way people think, the way people act, the way people dress. You know understand what I'm saying? So to now, you fast forward
and he flips
and it's something
script.
Totally different. It hurts. It hurts because it's like, bro, I changed the way I act, the things I do because of you. And now it's like, it's like totally different. You're like a totally different person.
And that goes back to that question that was earlier on. Is this going to tarnish his brand?
100%.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
Oh no, I'm lying. It will not tarnish his brand.
I think it'll tarnish his brand for a nice slice of the black community.
Absolutely.
Nope, totally disagree.
I think so.
Okay.
Because I know, like I haven't liked Kanye's last how many albums anyways, but I know that I'm not gonna go out and buy a Kanye
Here's the genius
no
in Kanye West. Here's the genius in Kanye West. Here's the genius in Kanye West. Remember when I said, when he was on the TMZ and he said the 400 years of slavery, black people choice?
He said it sounded
like a choice.
Because that actually does change its meaning.
It
when
really
you say
does.
That.
Yeah, it really does. But here's the genius in that. The reason why he chose to say that about us, to what I said earlier, he knows that we're super forgiving. He knows that we're going to look past that. He knows that people are still going to buy his records. People are going to still spend $500 for it. He knows that we're going to forgive him. People are still going to, when that new shit comes out, stuff comes out, sorry, Mom, people are still going to download it.
I think we're past the sorry, Mom.
No,
we're way
No, because even when I'm with my moms and I swear I got to apologize.
I do the same.
It could be all day, all weekend. Anyways, so the point is he chose to do that to us because he knows we're going to forgive him. Me, on the other hand, hear me clearly. I'm not listening to the new Kanye West album and any Kanye moving forward. If he is truly producing that Nas album, to be clear, when I seen that tweet, I really wanted to cry. I was so excited. I am not listening to the new Nas album. I am not listening to the new Pusha. I am not listening to the new Kanye and Cudi. Anything that Kanye West has to do, I am not involving myself with at all. And the reason why I say that is because when T.I. was on the Breakfast Club and they were talking to T.I., they're like, yo, T.I.'s like, Kanye doesn't realize he's hurting people. And then Charlemagne's like, really? All those retweets? He's like, Kanye doesn't hear any of that stuff. So, and that goes to my other main point about this whole situation. These people in power that control and that can make policies that impact our life, They don't care about protests. They don't care about none of that shit at all. The only thing that impacts them, and I'll keep it on Kanye West, is money. So if the black community is as outraged as they say they are, anything he does, don't support it. It's very simple. He will realize, oh, damn, I can't do that. But the problem is we are super forgiving. R. Kelly peed on a girl, an underage girl.
You're really gonna bring that up?
He peed on an underage girl, and we were still okay.
His same point can still kind of be swayed towards Kanye's point. He said that we're so forgiving, right?
Yeah.
What could that be molded into?
Love.
No.
What?
If someone can do something that bad to you, but you can forgive them, isn't that the same point Kanye was making about being a slave for 400? That sounded like a choice. It sounded like someone could literally kick the shit out of you, and you know that you could overpower them.
Yep.
But you're like, fuck it. Excuse me.
But sorry, Mom.
But you're like, I just won't do it. I just won't. Maybe Kanye is really a genius and and he strategized saying that this is why I said it sounded like a choice, because
which is
I'm going to say something crazy to black people and you guys are still going to love me.
Which is the worst part about it, and the reason why. And we got to bring the show to an end. Devine, I'll let you say what you say, and I'll let you say what you got to say, Kenny. But I do just want to say this, and the reason why I think it's so bad and so dangerous to align himself with Trump is because everybody knows this. Everybody knows. The population of the entire world, white people are the minority. They're the minority, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how is it that they're in the position that they're in? Like, how did they manage to enslave every single race possible? Divide. Let me make my point. You know, everybody knows what Uncle Tom is, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm not calling Kanye West an Uncle Tom.
I thought you called me Uncle Tom.
No. Not at all.
Like,
Kanye West is on the hook for being called an Uncle
right. So
Tom.
what I'm trying to say is Trump meets with a Steve Harvey. He meets with a Kanye West. He knows black people ain't gonna like it. Everything that's going on in America, in the world right now with black people or just people of color, we really should all be united. Us having this conversation, it's great that we can have this conversation. We can have it and safely and, you know, whatever. But the reality is, whether I'm on your side or you're on my side of the coin, we should really be on the same side. But what Trump does, and people like Trump, is they take a person of color who has influence and a large platform, and they get him to side with him, who people of color notoriously do not like or agree with his policies, but they get a person of color with influence to side with him so we can have these conversations and they can divide us. Divide and conquer. They've been doing it for years. It's worked and it will continue working, unfortunately. And I'll say that. And Kanye West should be ashamed of himself, because with what's happening in the world right now, where people of color and just all people, why do we keep saying that? All people should be uniting against all injustices. And Kanye West is trying to, in my opinion, he's trying to sell records. Kanye West is, I'm trying to start a conversation. Bro, I don't mean to take the words out of Ebro's mouth, but the conversation's been happening. You're only talking about this right now because you got an album. You got music coming out. You got shoes coming out. Why didn't you say anything before? This has been happening. Now all of a sudden you're a free thinker. I know he was on opioids and he was busy trying to get better and everything like that. But even before that, bro, what happened? Like you're selling out your own people to sell some records, which I just don't respect. Which is why I'm not supporting anything. I don't want him to get any of my money.
You think that's the outcome of it all, is just making that dollar. He's trying to sell records,
100%,
and Trump his own name right now.
Yeah,
in a literal sense.
And again, to my point, which is so sad, and which is why I'm saying it on this, and I'll let you guys go because we do have to wrap. I quote me on this, but I'm dead serious, yo. I'm not listening to the new Kanye. Bro, I have Apple Music. I can get it for free. I can stream it all day long. I'm not listening to the new Kanye.
You're not gonna listen or buy?
I'm not gonna buy, stream, download. If I go in your car and you're playing it, I'm
gonna
leaving your
rip it
car.
Listen.
Yeah.
I have a very, very good memory. So
awesome.
In a few years, what's gonna happen is we're gonna be in studio just doing something. I'm gonna whip out my phone and this guy's gonna be like,
"No,
yo,
I'm gonna leave."
What is this right now? What is that? Like, yo, that's Nas. He'd be like, yo, it sounds nice. And I'd be like, okay.
But you know what though? But you know the funny thing is you could get away with it because I would have no idea what the album sounded like.
Fair enough.
I would just be like, oh, that's the new Nas song. Maybe I don't know.
In retrospect though, like to really think about it, man, like in reality, are we really gonna stop listening to Kanye West though?
We should,
because of the shit that he said. Sorry,
we should.
Even with Chris Brown, like people could say they will never listen to Chris Brown again because he beat up Rihanna. Do you know how many fans Chris Brown still has? Female fans.
Bro, you're missing the point.
And I'm just making a point. A lot of people say they weren't going to support it.
I get it, but you know what? You're missing the point, and you're also making the point. So you're missing the point because I'm talking about it's always been dangerous for black people in the world, particularly America. But this is not the time to be doing that. Unify. We shouldn't even be having this conversation.
But we have to because that's the level of opinion.
No, what I'm trying to say is this whole conversation stemmed because of Kanye West.
Right.
He is a pawn being used. So we shouldn't even be having this conversation.
But at the same time, Kenny C had his own opinion before this conversation with Kanye even came about.
I did, yeah.
You didn't form this opinion based off of Kanye going off on his rant. No. You already thought the way you thought. So even still, imagine if Kanye was out of the equation. He would have still thought the way he thinks of that, like the stigmas that we have and the things that we think about ourselves.
Bro, Kenny C, I don't want you to put your age out there, but Kenny C's a grown ass man.
Yeah.
You know the people who follow Kanye West, they're young.
Not necessarily, man.
Dude, obviously, how
long has Kanye been around, man?
What, like when did his first album come out? Like 2000?
Not his first album. I'm talking about even before that.
I'm talking about 95, 96.
Right. So it's not just young cats.
When did The Truth
follow
come out?
That was his first album?
The Truth, Beanie Siegel. That was the first one that he produced.
That's the first one he produced.
Truth.
Oh, okay. So
that's a hot minute.
I'm
man.
not saying that freaking you're missing. I'm not saying that only young people follow Kanye West, but Kenny C, he's older.
Right.
We can decipher. We've read books. We can say this is garbage. This is. I'm talking about the young, impressionable minds.
Okay.
Those are the people that I'm talking about.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Fair enough.
So, I'm assuming that I have last say. Okay.
Unless
I'm good, man. I just wanted to say, like, literally, I just feel as though we are here as human beings to form our own opinions based off of what we believe. And if we believe that we want to side with Kanye, that's that person's opinion. There's probably, because you have to think the American, like, the United States is huge. And I guarantee you there may be black people sitting around that believe what he just said. And there's probably a mass majority that don't believe a word he's saying and don't agree with him. There was a pastor that came on and blasted Kanye West about his comment and called him an Uncle Tom and said that he's a MFing weirdo and
pastors,
loser.
huh?
A pastor.
That's kind of crazy, right?
A pastor came on and said that was the most disrespectful and ignorant comment that's ever come out of a human being's mouth.
Wow.
And lost complete respect for Kanye West. And this was a pastor from somewhere in the South. I can't remember exactly where.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, everybody's allowed to speak their mind freely. Hence why we all have one in here that we're allowed to use. Yeah. So despite the fact, if you agree with him, can hate on him for agreeing with something that Kanye West says. Just as much as if you agree with something that Trump says. There's some people that agree with a minuscule amount of what Trump says that might be valid, but then the other 90% sucks ass, right? Yeah. There has to be something valid that you think Trump is bringing to the table as a president, because he wouldn't be there if that wasn't the case.
That's a lie.
I'm not validating the fact that Trump is president. I'm saying there has to be a reason why he's there and why he's appointed president.
America was founded on racism. Trump is a racist.
I totally realize that.
1 + 1 = 2.
I totally realize that, but at the same time, even Stacey Dash, Dame Dash's sister or whatever she is,
cousin, supports
Donald Trump.
Stacey Dash is the female black maid in the movie Get Out. You know, the one with the crazy smile?
Yes.
That's Stacey Dash.
No.
Go ahead.
So I'm just saying, man.
Okay. If I can close out with something, because again, a lot of a lot of black folks don't follow me until the closeout because the closeout wraps out. This is eventually what Kanye didn't get to do, which is why this is why he had to tweet stuff, and people who are gone they lost it. I have a profound, deep care for my black people, so much so that I'm willing to say things that may be uncomfortable for them to hear, to better us as a people, as a collective, but also understanding that I'm just an individual. And if I can do this and I can show my kids by not giving them the black card to carry around, I may be helping them. Okay. We don't have a solution, right? I'm trying something. Right. I don't see anybody trying anything but just the same old tactics. You know, the world's not going to change. Okay, well then change. If you can't change the world, man, change yourself. Okay, doesn't mean appease somebody. Okay, it means that if you haven't, as an individual, gone and done the things and failed, you can't complain to me and say that it's because you're black. I have tons. I have tons of friends who haven't even completed grade 8. Right, grade 8. They can't even read. I don't speak to them no more, but they can't even read. Okay. And they gave me this is why I started thinking the way I started thinking. I started going, well, I'm finishing school. I'm getting jobs. I'm black. Oh, well, you just know how to talk. Yeah, you talk white. So that I'm like, so I remember when I spoke to Chris Green the first time, I thought he was like a bill, like he was collecting bill. He's like, hello, Ken. And I'm like, who's this? And I'm like, damn, I answered the phone.
Like, boop, 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 the number you are calling.
It's like, if you haven't done, and there are a plethora of different avenues to take to help out people of color. And most of the time, pride is the one factor that they have that stops them from doing these things. You know, they want to make this money, but they aren't qualified. They want to make fast money, but it comes with consequences. So it's like when they come and tell me how they didn't get whatever, I say, but you didn't actually try. Right. So that's why I applaud your grind, because it's like, if they could see you doing it, it wouldn't matter what we say, what type of handicaps that we add to each other. Because they'd say, yo, Chris is making it. What do you mean? He's doing it. You can't say, well, I don't know how to do that. Okay. Well,
find out how.
Exactly. I asked you, how the hell did you learn how to do this stuff? You just did it. Trial and error. Which means that you had to have had a starting point where you sucked at it, right? Yeah. You didn't give up, right? Any and all successful peoples have the exact same narrative. Okay, the story may be slightly different, the color may be different, they may be a male or they may be female, but they didn't give up. Right. They didn't let the handicap stop them. You know, they're at a point where they go, hey, you know what? I understand that stuff happened, that there is forms of racism that still exist, and there still may be systems that are set in place that people can't see. Right. But what does that matter if your grind's on fleek? Right. What does it matter? No. Because you'll make it. Yeah. Did anyone ever think that you would ever hear a black Jewish man hitting number ones in 2004? No. No.
Of course not.
But Aubrey does it all the time.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah. You know?
He didn't let none of that crap bother him. Right? No. Oh, you're rich. And that's a different type of plight. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you're rich. Oh, blah, 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 blah. You know, there are tons of rich guys that tried to be famous, right? And they're nowhere. Yeah. Aubrey's like, you know what? I don't care what you guys call me. I'm just going to do this because I can do this. Everybody does that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sean Puffy Combs. Isn't that like a tale of just a solid entrepreneur, man that takes risks?
Jay-Z.
Okay? They don't care. Yeah. And I think that they may not say the exact same thing Kanye says in the exact same way, but I can almost bet you that there are tons of people that still have that spirit, that want to say, you know, you could do it too, but they're afraid to say it. So they just don't. They just go, okay, cool.
So do you think, just to chime in on what you're saying, do you think just as black people, we need to stop thinking so much about what this is and more of what we have to power? We have the empowerment in ourselves just to do whatever we really want to do if we focus on it. Just like you're saying about Chris, like we manufactured this show into being a platform. Yeah. Like the Ignorance is Free is your platform. The Chop Up is a show. Hannah Cake's show.
Grinders.
Okay. And
You know
that's
what I'm
fair.
saying?
And,
Like,
and that's another thing that I'm gonna end off and I'm not gonna say anymore.
Fair enough, 'cause
And
that's another conversation.
No, but and just because I'm an old man and I work not a regular job, but I work a job where I enjoy and I make good money. Why do we always have to celebrate the ball players and the rappers and the
drug
singers
dealers?
and the drug dealers? But why not celebrate the people who own a barbershop and give them an award? You know what I mean?
That's
what about
big.
the black professor that
That's
works
big.
at UFT and he teaches biochemistry?
Better yet,
Those are people who I would love to celebrate.
there are there are black activists out right now in your city of Toronto.
Yeah.
I hear them frequently on I think it's CBC Radio 1.
Yeah.
Doing things. They don't get shout outs,
Never.
That would be great, to like
Yeah.
give them a voice, because they're actually that solution thing, right? They're trying to do something to change social stigma.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. Like we don't all have to be a rapper. We don't all have to be a singer. And that's not to take away from the point that there's so much talent.
Right.
But can't we just be a fan of something? Can't we just enjoy and embrace the fact that there's something to enjoy rather than always having to join in?
We can enjoy that Kanye album that's coming out.
But like, why can't young little, as he says, no. Why can't young little Tyrone, like he's saying, like want to grow up to be an astronaut or want to be a fireman or a public servant and be a police officer or something of that stature rather than follow in the footsteps of, I don't know, like a Chris Brown or someone.
We glorify taking the life of somebody else. We glorify selling drugs and getting away from the police unscathed. We celebrate having sex with multiple women and then not fathering the kids. And we do it with such ignorance and that we're almost like slaves.
Yeah.
With that, we're gonna bring the show to a
That's
close.
a tight close. Woo! That was hot.
All right, you
hot.
guys. So normally, well, I guess we kind of talk about everything on the Chop Up, but
Yeah.
this is an interesting one. We'll probably break this episode up a little bit on YouTube.
Absolutely.
I definitely
Absolutely.
want you guys to leave it in the comments. At the end of the day, I'm always open to having the conversation.
Same here.
You guys know that about me. Sometimes I'll touch on topics, especially like dicey ones like religion and like, like sexuality and things like that. And I don't claim to be an expert. I don't have all the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway.
I was going to say, but he has an opinion, but he hasn't walked that. He actually hasn't.
No. Hold up. Let me finish.
But you're entitled to your opinion, though.
Let me finish. You know why I'm entitled to my opinion? Because I've been through shit that, excuse me, sorry, Mom, but I've been through stuff where it only happened because I was black. I don't want to have that conversation on camera. But anyways, to my point, what I was trying to say is I'm always open to learning, which is, of course, why Kanyes here, like I was saying, like when we first talked on DM, he's like, yo, I don't know if you want me on your show because, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, why not?
Because I've had people try to fight me, bro.
No, like the
it's not even like it's coming from a bad place.
Yeah.
You guys remember the show, the Boondocks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I am not Uncle Ruckus, okay?
Yeah, no, of
I'm
course
sorry
not.
for using the N-word. I said that I wasn't going to use the N-word, but I don't go around going, you lazy ass nigga.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
joke,
Yeah.
but I would never go to another black brother and be like, yo, you lazy. I'll talk with him.
Yeah.
I'll see what he's about. If he has an issue, or again, if we're talking about race, I say, have you tried this though? I usually get the, oh yeah, but I mean, like, that's a lot of work, or I don't know if it's going to pan through. But did you try it? Well, no. Well, you should try it. That's turned into something almost physical. Like, you don't know me. I'm like, yeah, I don't know you, but still.
Yeah.
Black and white, okay? Did you try it? If you didn't try it, then how do you know that you would fail?
Fair.
The show's gonna go on for another 3 hours.
That goes back to the whole slave thing, right?
the show.
Mental slavery.
He just
though.
doesn't
Yeah.
know that he could do something.
No. I was gonna
Because
speak.
they've
I was
cut that
listen.
wire,
I was
man.
gonna
They
speak
cut
to
that
that, but
wire.
like that's gonna.
I know. All right, my
extend the
bad.
show for another
I'm
3
done.
hours.
I am sorry.
No. I do want to wrap it up, but what I was basically just trying to say is, again, always open to having the conversation.
Of course.
Like the side of the coin that I'm on that side firmly. My feet are planted on that side because I do try to educate myself. Man, you send me some shit and I don't just like, look on one side. And again, also like I'm in my skin. You understand what I'm saying? So I know what the F I'm talking about just based on my own experience.
Of course, which no one can take away from you.
Exactly. So anyways, with that being said, it's a good conversation to have. Yeah. Leave your comments in the comment box below. Let us know what you thought about the conversation.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe definitely is a must. Hit me up on Twitter. I'm Chris Green. And on Instagram, the ignorance is free with a Z. And listen, it's good that we're getting these two brothers' opinions, but I really want to know what you guys think.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So let us know what your thoughts are. Kanye West, you going to listen to the new Kanye West album? Are you boycotting Kanye West? Do you agree with my comments that, unfortunately, as outraged as most people of color are, we're probably still going to end up buying his album, except for me? Let me know what you guys think.
You can follow me at Mike Devine Music with a K on Twitter and Instagram. Wow, R.I.P. Kanye.
You can follow me at Kenny CEE999 on Instagram. Please don't send any threatening mail. Like I said, I love all my black people. I'm just a personal trainer that's just a little bit more harder on y'all. I want everyone to succeed. I definitely do. I don't think that we should be babying each other anymore. I think we're grown enough to I mean, if we're slaves for this long and we're taking whips to our back, I'm sure that we're stronger now, right? See, that's a better analogy, don't you think? We took whips for that long, so we should be stronger now. Scars, callous.
Yeah,
I get it.
Get your back up.
You wanna use it?
I don't have to go on Twitter to elaborate that, okay? So I ain't gonna double down or backpedal.
All right, man. You guys, thank you again for tuning in. This is the Chop Up. Don't know what the episode is, but
we're way up there.
Yeah, we're somewhere in the some things.
Yeah.
But again, thank you guys for tuning in, man. Super Nigga Black Powers. We out.
Black Power, peace.